AM 630. WMAL.
And joining us right now is Jake Tapper. He's host of CNN's The Lead every day at 4 p.m. and then, of course, every Sunday, State of the Union. It's must-see TV right now for anybody following the presidential election, and, well, who isn't? Jake, good morning. How are you?
I'm great. How are you doing?
I'm good, thank you. I saw yesterday you guys did a pretty thorough coverage and fisking of this whole question about Ted Cruz's eligibility to be president. A very thorough job. And I understand you've got Senator Cruz on the show this Sunday. I guess beyond the question of his eligibility, which other people are responding to, I'd love your take on the politics of this. Why is it being raised right now? How are the candidates handling it, Trump and Cruz? And whose advantage here as of now?
Well, I mean, I think it's another example of Donald Trump playing the media and political class like a fiddle.
Yeah.
He's been talking about this issue. It was raised a little bit, and then in an interview he talked about it more. He's doing it in his own inimitable way, which is, hey, I'm not the one talking about it. There are Democrats out there talking about it. It's going to be an issue for him. So it's not a direct attack that might alienate Cruz supporters. It's a, hey, I'm just raising this thing, and it is a possible problem for Ted Cruz, kind of style. He's in a way he's kind of taking a page from the Cruz playbook. Cruz, who has played nice with Donald, now Donald's kind of attacking him in a quote unquote nice way, raising this eligibility issue. And the truth of the matter is that most legal experts say that if it came down to it, Cruz would be considered a natural-born citizen and would be eligible for the presidency. But it hasn't been tested. No one has ever challenged this and tested this all the way to the U.S. Supreme Court. I know you guys know that in 2008, there were people raising the issue not just about Barack Obama, inaccurately, because Barack Obama was born in America, in Hawaii, but John McCain, who was born on a territory, a naval base in Panama, though he was born to two U.S. citizens, there was enough ambiguity in the law that people in the Senate, his supporters, McCain supporters, felt the need to, pass a Senate resolution saying McCain qualified as a natural-born citizen. I'm sure the same would happen if Cruz got the nomination, but the truth is it's not settled law. There is enough of a question about it, and I think it's just, Donald Trump being Donald Trump, dropping some questions in, hey, I'm just asking the questions, guys, and trying to create enough uncertainty that maybe any wavering Cruz supporters come his way in Iowa.
I'm not saying it's a problem, but, probably questions will be raised. It would be ugly, it'd be messy. Yeah, it's really interesting strategy.
I'm not, you guys say mornings on the mall, and I just drove by the mall, and you weren't there on the mall.
Right. I'm not saying you're lying.
There's anything wrong with that. And people are out there talking about it.
All right, so listen, I want to change topics if I can, because I'm looking right now at and I know you do this as an anchor of a major news program. You look at the world around you right now, and you got Saudi Arabia and Iran. Tense. You got North Korea out there, and they're firing off nuclear weapons of some kind. We don't know exactly what it is. You look at Paris this morning, and there's a terrorism attack there where police took out a guy who was wielding a knife, and he was claiming Allahu Akbar. And then oil is in the toilet. The economy looking a little weaker. I mean, all of this stuff sort of, doesn't it have an impact on how people look at the world when it comes time to cast a ballot?
Absolutely. And I think that's one of the reasons why we have seen the rise of Donald Trump in the polls. And for that matter, Bernie Sanders on the Democratic side of the aisle. Some people, there are a lot of Americans out there who have not felt any lift from the economy. Their wages have stagnated. They're still a tremendous amount of uncertainty. And then, of course, you have all the international crises that you mentioned, the pending, possibly Shia-Sunni showdown in the Middle East between Saudi Arabia and Iran and other countries. You have instability in North Korea and questions about the role that China will play. And, yeah, it all feeds into, I think, one of the reasons why Trump is doing so well, because he appeals to voters on a very emotional level. This very emotional level of, we need strength, we need leadership, and I'm your guy. And he is, I don't know if you guys read the comic strip Dilbert.
Yeah,
Ever?
of course.
So Scott Adams, the guy who writes it, who is also something of a pundit when it comes to business, he writes about Donald Trump in a very interesting way, and just talking about the emotional appeals and on a business level. It's very interesting, and I think it really explains a lot in terms of people just want what they feel like they don't have right now, and it's an intangible feeling of feeling helpless and lost, and the world is out of control.
Well, and to that end, Jake, as you know, many people think presidential politics always boils down to the pocketbook, and you see the Asian markets closing again today because they fell so precipitously in China. And the New York futures right now, the Dow futures are like 700 on the downside already. The economic picture right now that you're going to be following, I'm sure, all day today, also sort of plays into the Trump leadership idea, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, just the instability and the fact that we're at the whims of the world, and that people's retirement savings are still, they're worried about them, and they're worried about the fact that the next generation might not be better off than the current one.
All right. We're looking forward to your show, the State of the Union, this Sunday, where you're going to have Ted Cruz. I'm sure that he is taking an opportunity here. Since he's in the spotlight, he's pivoting every question to his policy. I'm sure that he'll enjoy talking to you on Sunday, Jake.
Yeah, we'll be interviewing him on his bus. He's doing an Iowa bus tour right now. We'll be talking to him on the bus. It's the first time. He is the very last major presidential candidate that we're getting on State of the Union. We've interviewed them all on State of the Union except for Ted Cruz. He's been elusive, so we're excited about having him this Sunday.
Yeah, this is why I called it must-see television. If you're following the presidential campaign, you got to check out State of the Union with Jake Tapper. Thanks, Jake. Have a good weekend. It's 8:44.